Good afternoon. Welcome to the first monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Market Investing Club. My name is Peter Zalewski. I'm the creator of it. I'm also a longtime journalist, Wall Street consultant, a licensed real estate broker. Got my license back in 1995. Founder of a company called Condo Vulture. It's been around for quite some time. Anybody who's played the condo market, especially during the Great Recession, probably heard about us. I also do expert witness work. Again, on the witness stand, typically I testify against developers when people are suing them for different reasons. So I have a whole variety of experience. In creating the Miami Condo Market Investing Club, the idea was to try to create a community, an ecosystem. I'm not necessarily in that generation. That seems to be the catchphrase right now. We've created this club because we want to bring together not necessarily like-minded, but curious individuals who were focused on the South Florida condo market. And what is South Florida? That's probably a good place to start. It's going to be comprised of three counties. You have Miami-Dade County to the south. You'll have Broward County in the center, and you'll have Palm Beach County in the north. And what we will do with this club is we will bring together buyers. We will bring together real estate brokers. We'll bring together bankers, lenders, investors, critics. Based on some of the tours I do, we might have some regulators in here. But the information we're going to share is basically to help you, the audience, try to make a decision. Think of me and the Miami Condo Market Investing Club as kind of like Levi Strauss. When people went out to mine for gold, there were individuals and companies that turned around and provided or sold to them services so they can help them on their journey. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to give you the information, trying to give you real-time information, and trying to tap into, I don't know, some of my experience, some of my skepticism to try to weed out some of the smoke and mirrors, some of the hyperbole, some of the fluff that exists out there, and give you the audience an idea of what somebody on the ground for 30 plus years is thinking about what's really going on in the market. Good way to sort of tell the market what's going on in the real estate market is when locals are selling. When out-of-towners come into South Florida in the condo market, they try to buy. They think that their method or their approach from wherever they come from, whether it be New York, California, Argentina, Europe, any of that type of stuff. When locals sell and out-of-towners are buying, that typically is a good telltale sign as to what's going on. So we're going to, this meeting is going to last an hour. What I will do is cover a variety of different topics. We're going to talk about the latest condo trends. We're going to talk about rental trends. We're going to talk about what's going on with the National Association of Realtors settlement. No. I'm not trying to sell you on a commission. I'm trying to give you an idea as to what might be coming effectively in 2 months when a new settlement goes into place and it changes the whole commission structure. We're also going to talk about 2025 Condo Association financial cliff. We're hearing a lot about that in the media right now. The cliff. What does it mean for old buildings, new buildings, special assessments, all that type of stuff. I'm going to try to give you some perspective as to what you can anticipate if you are an owner and what you should watch for if you are a buyer looking to take advantage of basically disruption. And, disruption is probably a great way to sort of summarize where we are in the South Florida condo market right now today. And what do I mean by that? A whole variety of things are changing, much like anybody who's familiar with Miami. Well, what we have is to the east, we have Atlantic Ocean. Then we have a bay. It's separated by the barrier island where Miami Beach is. And the bay is separated from the Miami River. So we have a whole variety of type of water that's flowing. But right there, when you're at the Miami River, which goes all the way west of the airport, and the Biscayne Bay, which is basically water coming in from the Atlantic, it's real brackish. It's real difficult if you're a diver, you're a snorkeler, you get in the ground, you get in the water. You're not necessarily going to know what's going on. You're not going to have visibility. That's kind of where we are in the real estate market today in South Florida, especially as it pertains to condos. So I'll be talking about all that. At about 12:45, about 45 minutes into the program, I'm going to answer some questions. So there is a chat option that you have in watching this podcast, whether you're watching it today live or you're going to watch it sometime in the future. I will send out to all club members. And remember, if you are a club member, which means basically you're not getting the free email newsletter that's delivered weekly, you're actually somebody who's spending money and spending time to sort of not necessarily appreciate, but at least take a look at what we're doing. You're invited to this. This is not for the general public. We'd ask you to just keep it within your organization. Not that I'm afraid of what I'm going to say, just more so for the etiquette and the respect of other club members. The information we're sharing is going to be much different than what you're hearing on the street. Why is the information different? Real simple. This is a sell side market. That means everybody is peddling something to you. They all basically will blow smoke. They'll give you a convention and visitor bureau perspective in hopes that you will do a deal. People down here in South Florida, they eat what they kill. And what I mean by that is if you do a deal, you can pay your mortgage, you can pay off your Aston Martin car lease. If you don't do a deal, nothing's going to happen. So it takes a former journalist. I was a journalist for 13 years. And then after that, when I set up condovultures.com, I then wrote a column for the Miami Herald. I did that for 5 years and also wrote a column for The Real Deal out of Miami. So I'm one of these people who maybe is fighting the good fight. I've been accused of being a Chicken Little. I've been accused of being a little bearish. But it's giving you the other side of the trade. That's some of the generalities. Now, 12:45, I will take questions and answers. If you do have a question for me, I'm not going to be able to monitor the chat. I'll take a look at it about 12:40. And at that point, I'll start to answer questions. But I encourage you to go ahead and chat. You like what we're saying, you dislike what we're saying, let it rip. Thick skin, and everybody's opinion is encouraged. It's welcome, and I won't get offended. I promise you that. I've been on the witness stand in courtrooms when I'm testifying. I know everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different perspective, but I want to give you something to sort of think about. So let me do some real basic housekeeping before we get started. The club. If you are a member of the club, you're on this podcast. But what I will do is I'm going to take a snippet of this meeting, our first monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Market Investing Club. And I'm going to edit it down and I'm going to post it on social media. Why? Because I want to grow the audience. I want to grow the base. What does it do? Well, it does two things. One, it's going to give us the revenue necessary to continue to do more and more stuff. And two, hopefully it will bring in a variety of other people who all of us within the club are going to be able to sort of not necessarily trade with, but be able to interact with. There will be events as we go forward. There'll be opportunities if you are a club member to come out for socials. If you and if you're a founding club member, there'll be VIP events that we're sort of doing. The idea is again community. So if you are a member, you're watching this podcast. If you're not a member, we would encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. It's $35 a month, $350 a year, which is basically a slight little discount. We have a little bit of a dark sense of humor. Therefore, we're celebrating the beginning of hurricane season. A lot of people are in fear of hurricane season. We're welcoming it. 15% discount if you want to go ahead and sign up for the membership. We're going to be doing monthly meetings. Meetings will be the second Wednesday of every month. They'll always begin at noon. What will we discuss in the meetings? We're going to give you real-time information as to what's going on the ground. Some of you might be asking, why does the guy talk so fast? It's just enthusiasm. I've always spoken that way. I am drinking some coffee, but it's purely just enthusiasm as it sort of relates to that. So I mentioned about the membership. I mentioned about sort of what we're going to be discussing today. I also want to recognize some individuals who kind of made this whole process possible. I began this about 18 months ago or so, putting it all together. The software is now to the point where I can actually do this. We can actually do this. And there's some people along the lines, and there's some people who've reappeared recently that I think are, I just want to note them. First and foremost is my partner, Jenny Ortiz. She runs a real estate brokerage called CVR Realty, cvrrealty.com if you want to check it out. She primarily does listings. She'll work with buyers, fair value type of buyers. She's not necessarily somebody looking for the deep discounts type of buyers. Now, also want to recognize a veteran real estate agent who's been with our organization for quite some time. Her name is Sylvia Gross. Sylvia's been doing it for north of 20 years. She's on the ground. So if you're looking for an agent, something like that, feel free to reach out to Sylvia. You can find her or you can get information by going to cvrrealty.com. And then also too, I want to recognize our partner. This is a woman I've known for quite some time. She does title work and she does escrow services. Her name is Clarita Rosa. She has a company. She started off on her own a few years back. She's been doing this for a long time, but basically Clarita, she's a veteran. She knows what she's doing. If anybody has any questions or you're looking for a title company, please reach out to Clarita Rosa, Candor Title and Escrow Services. You can get her at candortitle.com.